Evening, everyone. Today we had our first day of the GuanYin recitation Qi. How did it go? Okay, no difference, right? Okay. It's a lot more peaceful here tonight than last night. Yes, Nine.
Amitofo, Master. Yesterday was very difficult, but today is much better. It's incredible. I've been thinking about that I have a lot of faith. It's really natural for me, but devotion, I don't think I had a lot of it. And then I realized today, well, that's why I'm here doing the Qi, because I started feeling devotion to GuanYin. So, thank you.
Very good. Thank you for sharing with us. Go Forest.
Hello, Master. I want to repent. I was lazy and didn't do the morning ceremony this morning. So I want to repent on that.
Naughty girl. Did they beat you up?
I think so.
Did you folks over there do the thing, the beating thing, Sangwuk Sinim? Or was it simply an empty threat?
They are doing very well. You need to beat them.
You did very well. No need to beat them. Wow, impressive. Very good. All right. For reward, you got to do it again tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead, go for us.
Thank you, Master.
Speak, yeah.
I will come back next week.
Next week? Oh, yeah, you have to go back to work, yeah.
Yes. Dạ thưa thầy, hello Master. I want to repent as well, because for being lazy and taking your support for granted. I know that we got shelter and food and a lot of support from you, from Sunim and everyone, but we was being lazy and skipped the morning ceremony because we sleep in. I'm so sorry about that. Yes, and we will make sure no more next time.
My heart is broken. Okay, anyone else would like to repent? As long as we're here, why not? Okay, very good. We're all clean and pure. Yes, 8.
This would feel like a vacation for me if I don't need to take care of the kids.
Where are they, by the way?
They are in the room. I have a question. So if there's a conflict between my needs and my family's needs, like for now, I really want to stay here for the night. And my older son wanted to go home to sleep in his comfortable bed. When he told me that, my first reaction was, oh, I should meet his needs. But now I'm starting to get in touch with my own needs. So I have a second thought. So I have this tendency to put other people's needs before my own needs. But now I started to think that my own needs are as important as theirs. So there's like part of me said, is saying I should send them home because it's such a small request, right? I should meet his needs, but part of me is saying I want to stay here.
Okay, are we becoming selfish? Me first. Did you listen to the talk on Saturday morning? We talk about 4 levels of 4 kinds of people. The first one is me, or self-serving. Number 2, if you're better, then you are righteous. You do the right things. That's better. Then you're happier that way. And number 3 is to, what's number 3? To be proper. What's proper in layman's terms? Anyone? What's proper? Yes, 2.
Thank you, Master. I think a way to put it could be to be considerate and do the right thing.
Can be considerate and do the right thing. Be proper is the first level of Buddhist wisdom, where you, yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. Being proper, you told us it is do things according to the cause and effect.
Okay, in layman's term, don't expect to do bad things, and don't do bad things and expect to get good results. That's impossible. This is what lay people don't understand, don't believe, okay, because they are so confused, because they're so fool themselves. Okay, it's not possible from the cause and effect perspective. You plan a good cause, a bad cause, you do something evil, you do something bad, you're bound to get the result of that which is bad. It cannot be good. It's impossible. Okay? So that's why the people who, even though they don't necessarily have to have wisdom, if they live like this, they'll develop wisdom. They'll be happier themselves. Okay? And in layman's terms, you could say that being proper is to be decent, to be reasonable, to be moral somehow, okay, and so forth, okay. But being proper is very Buddhist, meaning that we pay attention to cause and effect, okay, because every time we act, we'll create a karma, whether it's by thought, whether it's by mouth, whether it's by body, okay. We ourselves know full well immediately, instinctively, without thinking, we know it's a bad thing to do, like cursing. Anyone? Okay? So instinctively, we know that it's a bad thing to do, but we like to do it anyway. Yeah? Okay, so you can do it, but you should not be deluded into thinking that you don't have to we don't have to suffer the consequences of your bad deeds, of your bad karmas. That's not possible. It's impossible in Buddhism. Buddha proved it over and over again. Because Buddha says, he uses Buddha eyes, he says, since beginningless time, anyone who planted a bad seed, a bad cause, okay, got a bad effect, got a bad result. No two ways about it. 100% of the times. Buddha saw it himself. That's why he says, hey folks, the law of cause and effect is universal. I didn't create it. It's the law of nature. And ordinary people, they say, you see these people, they're rich and they're famous, but they got there because they cheated people and they stole from people. Let me see, what else did he do? They lied to people. They, all the bad things, too many bad things to talk about, okay? And he's still famous, he's still powerful, he still is rich, he's still, revered by the masses. Yeah, demons have their own followers. Okay? Bad things are coming their ways. No two ways about it. Okay? And it's impossible for them not to bear the consequences of the bad karmas. Period. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. Nacho has a question. Amitabha, Master, could you explain the difference between being righteous and being proper? Thank you, Master.
Being righteous has to do with, I equated that to the morals of the non-Buddhists. Okay, Hindus have their own rules of morality. The Christians have their own 10 commandments and so forth. And for them, being righteous is to live in accord to those rules. Okay, and it could be, you could, sometimes the non-religious people would call it fair, fairness, and so forth, decency, and so forth. But righteous here refers to the morality, the sense of right and wrong that we all have, that we all are so aware of in our minds. Okay? Cause and effect, or proper, goes beyond that, because it goes beyond what we can understand, what we can see, what we can imagine with our thinking mind. Okay, it has faith in there. Okay, proper is that you believe because you cannot possibly see everything. Therefore, you must believe. Okay? You cannot see your true Buddha nature. You cannot see the true goodness in yourselves. It's so buried, so deep inside, you can't see it yourself. But you should believe that inherently, deep down, even if you are a devil, you're Satan, you're still very good inside. Okay, so proper there has a connotation of faith, okay, on faith in someone who knows more than we do, okay, that we don't understand, okay, but we taught that the facts, or the propriety were born by the facts of those people who have wisdom, like the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, who saw it, who saw the connection between the causes and the effects. Okay? So that's the proper there is requires faith because we cannot understand. Okay, and finally, the fourth level, what is true happiness, is when those people are happy, is when they have wisdom, they have prajna wisdom. Okay, those are very special class. I call it G class. Okay, because these people, they can taste true happiness that we cannot, that you cannot. And those who tasted it, they said, wow, it's nice. It's worth it. All right? So those are the four levels of four kinds of people. Okay? So the first kind, again, is self-serving. They only live on the intellect. Okay? And they can figure things out. They can use their thinking mind to solve problems, including trying to be happy, trying to get what they want. Second level is, and they find out that all those people, rich people, powerful people, they find out they end their lives, they're not happy. They wonder what their life had been about. Okay? The children couldn't wait for them to die so that they can get their inheritances. Okay? And the second level is righteousness, or could say moral. Okay? Where there's faith, beginning of faith in what's fair, what's righteous. Okay? If those people who value righteousness, they have a better chance to be happy, they're happier than the people who are self-centered or self-serving. Okay? Our education system is geared towards serving the first group. That's it. Okay? And this is why if those of you who have a chance to teach, okay, whether you're a teacher, professor, or a parent, or an aunt, or an uncle, okay, you're in a position to influence the younger generation so that you stir them and give them the proper perspectives that you weren't given at all when you were younger. So this is very important, folks. You can make a difference in people's lives in a very profound way. Okay? It's a big gift. It's an incredible gift to give to the younger generation. Okay? You can influence them. And don't talk about cause and effect. Talk about, help them understand that there's consequences. And instinctively, we all believe that. Okay, we know that it doesn't sound logical that we steal, and yet we don't have to pay the price for it. Okay, only the adults who do that is only because they delude themselves. They hide the heads into the sand so that they don't see the consequences. Okay. For example, the people who lie left and right to everyone, to their wives, to their children. Okay? they have the consequences, severe consequences for themselves. But the one thing I would tell you that these people will experience is that even when they're still alive, they feel very, what? Lonely. No one likes them. No one trusts them. Did you know that? I can think of one man right now. Okay? His wife doesn't like him. His daughter doesn't like him. His sons don't like him. His cronies don't like him. They only use him to make money. Okay? So he's just being used. That's all. He uses them, they use him, that's it. And at the end of the day, no one really cares for him. Except for one woman who's crazy. And guess what? He's in love with her. Because she doesn't care for the money, for anything. He just wants him. So I watched his entire life feeling so lonely, so alienated by his own family, his loved ones. Everyone is using him to get what they want. It's sad. That's why he's severely depressed. All right, and finally, the final comment I'd like to make is about wisdom. Wisdom is different from propriety or being proper, is because it transcends proper. Sometimes you have to be improper out of wisdom. And that's why in Buddhism we call that wisdom the middle way. Questions and comments? If you're not there, stick to propriety. 2.
Thank you so much, Master. I really appreciate how much you expanded on what it means to be proper. I think since I took refuge and signed all the paperwork, yada, yada, about believing in cause and effect, it's such a profoundly different way to see the world. And to be able to describe that to a layperson, who I would consider that to be like a non-Buddhist person, someone who doesn't know what merit and virtue is, someone who doesn't understand, blessings, et cetera, it's not easy, right? It's not something that, well, it can be easy, but it takes consideration. So just to put it out here for the Dharma Assembly too, like I would revise how I'd tell somebody what it is to be proper based on what you said. I would say it's doing good things.
Okay, good point. This is a very, very good point. I'm glad you brought it up. So how do we influence others? How do we convince others that to be proper or propriety is good for them? That's the bottom line, isn't it? We need to convince our children, our siblings, our students that to be proper is advantageous, it's rewarding. How? Because if they're not Buddhists, they're not going to take you seriously when you quote, Buddha said so. It's like, Buddha who? How do we influence people about propriety? Yes, go first. And by the way, if you're able to convince people about this value system of propriety, you cannot imagine the kinds of blessings you're generating for yourself just because your son or your nephew behaves accordingly the rest of his life. He's generating so many blessings for you. That's your incentives. Go first. Go ahead.
Thank you, Master. For me, what I try to do at work is to be a good role model. So when I notice that with my coworker, when they see what I'm doing, I'm always cheerful and happy with them. So they keep on asking, "Nu, how come you are always, when we are around you, we are so happy?" And I can see it's because we do the right thing. And then that energy just rubbing off people around, they feel happy around. And then they copy the same way that we are doing. So be a good role model.
Excellent. That's how you teach people. That's the only way to teach, is to be a role model. Teach by example. Okay, very simple. Remember when I first started, I told you that you are in a position of influence? It's because you have power, you have authority, you have credibility. You're the aunt. You are the dad. Okay? You're the big brother. They look up to you already. So use that to your advantage to influence them. So far, so good? Number two, the question revolves around the fact that what if you're not in a position of power? Okay, remember back then the Chinese emperors, they brought Buddhism so that they used the Buddhist teaching to help them rule the country. But it's more than that. What these emperors didn't realize is that when they teach their subjects, the Chinese people, to do the proper things. Again, as I told you, these people the emperors have even more blessings, because all the people are influenced by by their teachings. So that's why this is how these Chinese emperors later became enlightened a lot quicker than otherwise. Okay. But what about in the cases where you really are not in a position of power, you really have no influence? Okay? Then couple things. Number one, if you have samadhi power, you put your foot down, you say, "No, I'm not doing this." Yes, I'm going to do that. Okay, so by, oh my God, that's a long drive for you, huh? The Tesla or the Merc? The Mercedes, okay. Good, no wonder she's still smiling. Welcome. He drove or you? I like MD. So romantic. Taking his wife for a ride down to SoCal. Okay, where were we? Okay, so your samadhi power increases your credibility, adds weight to your words. Don't underestimate that. When you meditate, when you practice Chan, when you cultivate, you're building up the samadhi power here, and it makes you more credible, makes you stronger. Okay? And I don't know if this is true or how true it is, but the girls can sense that this man is stronger than the other. No? I know I'm going out on a limb, but I got to try. And the funny thing is, after that, after they meet with you, and then they meet the next man, say, wow, this guy is so weak. Never mind. So your samadhi power, okay, even though you're not in a position of power or authority, it really is very influential, okay, because you don't move. Yes, Nine.
Thank you, Master. NorCal Daniel says, Amitabha Master, you influence people by example. They will see it, and they aren't that dumb. That's right. The people are not as dumb as you think. You seem to think. Okay, people can pick up on the good things. This is don't say anything. That's all. Okay. And so that's why your samadhi power makes a difference. And number two, you simply say, I happen to believe that's the right thing to do, that's the proper thing to do. I stick by it. Because if not, I'd be sorry later. So you more or less are making a prediction that if they do it wrong, they will suffer, they'll be sorry. And you increase your credibility, that's all you have to work with. Okay? Know where you stand, know your limitations. Anyone else? Okay, very good. Let's go to the Master Xuanhua's GuanYin Qi then, instructions.
要走啊！你走了之后呢，我们还不留啊。这是这个规矩啊。有的人说啊，这个规矩太厉害了。
After you leave, we won't even ask you to stay. This is the rule. Oh, some may say, oh, this rule is too strict.
那你不走，什么事情没有呢？
If you don't leave, then there is no problem.
明白各位呀，都是有缘的才到金山寺来。要没有缘的话，你连金山寺这个门都没有法子进来。
Did we skip a slide? 108 to 109? Yeah. Each and every one of you all have affinities. That is why you have to come to Gold Mountain Monastery. If you did not have affinities, you wouldn't even be able to enter the door of Gold Mountain Monastery.
既然是有缘，那么大家不妨做一个这观音法会上的朋友。
Since there is an affinity, all you might as well become Dharma friends of this GuanYin Dharma assembly.
Okay, let's stop. This is a short section here. Master Xuanhua says, That's from the continuation of last night's Dharma talk. He basically said the people who want to leave, they have to pay for the food for everyone who was eating at the GuanYin Qi assembly, and then it's no problem. That's the only thing they have to do. Then they can leave. And so he says, some people say that this rule is too strict. And the master says, then don't leave. And it's don't worry about the rules. Okay. And then next section, he's talking about affinities, concept of affinities. He says, in order for them people to go attend that GuanYin Qi back then, they had to have a lot of affinities with Gold Mountain Monastery. Gold Mountain Monastery is the one I've been to in San Francisco 10 years ago. It's a tiny, tiny place. Okay? And it's the midst of Chinatown. And I think this is referring to Gold Mountain Monastery, that prior version, the previous location, where a little bit bigger, but not as, doesn't look like a real temple at all. Okay, but what he's saying here, affinities are required for us to be able to come and cultivate together. Okay, if you have affinities, there's no way we can get together here. Not just Gold Mountain Monastery, but all these assemblies here, for us to be able to come and practice, to come to recite GuanYin's name, to listen to the Dharma, and so forth, means that we have a lot of affinities. What kind of affinities? I don't know about the people who were there at the time, but in principle, for our particular Dharma, for you to be able to keep on coming repeatedly, more than once, it means that we've been practicing together before. That's the way it is. If it's your first time, typically you will not last. You have to leave. You take yourself out of the picture. Okay, whether it's GuanYin Qi, whether it's a chant class, whether it's Buddha recitation, doesn't matter. What he's referring to is that it's people don't understand this, that typically for us to be able to get together like this is because repeatedly, time and time again, is because we've done it before. Okay? And you know, typically you go into a temple. I've been to many, many temples, all sorts of temples. Sri Lanka temples, Thai temples, Vietnam temples, Taiwanese temples, Chinese temples, Korean temples. Okay? There's one thing that really stands out is that when I went there, people sort of looked down upon me. Maybe I was new, maybe I was whatever, I didn't look Caucasian, I didn't look Chinese, I didn't behave Thai enough. Okay, so you see, in the typical temple you go to nowadays, I notice that people, unless they know you, they kind of judge you and kind of give you a hard time. Agree, disagree. They look down upon you. This is a Vietnamese temple. This is a Sri Lankan temple. What are you doing here? Anyone? It's just my imagination. Could be my imagination. I don't know. That's what this is why I went to these places. I didn't feel like going anymore. Even I go to my master's temple, I don't like it. I don't feel welcome. They judge me. Okay? Even like when I was there as novice, the Taiwanese are judging me as not knowing anything and yet too arrogant. Okay? Go to Vietnamese, my Vietnamese master's temple, and look at me and said, you Vietnam person, but you lost your roots. You went to a Chinese temple, now you have to run back to the Vietnam and take advantage of us. You know, people are so judgmental. They judge you. Of course, I go to Korea, they say, you're not Korean. You go to a Taiwanese temple, you're not Taiwanese. Okay? They always have that undercurrent of, you're different, what are you doing here? That kind of thing. Okay? And it makes you feel uncomfortable. Okay? Whereas here, like in Gold Forest or here, I noticed that you don't have that attitude. Actually, you are very welcoming. Actually, so welcoming, so relaxed that I think newcomers are, really? What's the matter with these people? They like me, actually? Really? Can't be right. Okay? And so there's a culture here that I like to encourage you. I'm very proud of that. I think you are very special in that sense. That we're here to cultivate. And the cultivate is to be kind. That's the first thing you do when you cultivate, is to be kind to each other. Okay? So anyway, it's not just that, but for you to be able to practice this GuanYin Dharma door, or the American Wei Yang Chan Dharma door, or our four, two hands and eyes, and tantras and so forth, okay, you need a lot of blessings. That's what affinities really mean. You need a lot of blessings. If you have enough blessings, then you go to another temple and say, no, I don't like it here. Okay? Because you're used to this kind of dharmas already. The standards are there already. So when you try others, you say, something is missing. You know? Make sense to you or not? Okay? That's what she's referring to. Okay? Affinities here is that you have a lot of blessings for this Dharma, a lot of blessings with the people there. When you're kind to someone, that's affinities you're creating with that person. Okay? Okay. I think, are we at 110 or past that? That's next? Oh, okay. And because of this affinity, all of you might well become Dharma friends. This is GuanYin Dharma Assembly. Okay? Dharma friends. And he will explain Dharma friends next.
大家手拉着手，一起向前开步走，到什么地方去呢？就是到我们每一个人所愿意到那个地方，你愿意到什么地方都可以。
Everyone holding each other's hands, moving forward together. Going where? It's exactly to that place each of us wishes to go. Wherever you wish to go, it's all right.
那么这样子每一个人都要帮助其他的人。我为什么这样说法我因为就怕你们个人走错路。
Then, in this way, each of us must help other people. Why do I speak in this way? Because I am just afraid that you all, on your own, will take the wrong path.
一跑出去金山寺就非常危险的。
Once you run outside of Gold Mountain Monastery, it's very dangerous.
最好的证明就是有个果儿。这果儿以前来参加是什么禅期是什么期参加了几天就跑了。
The best proof is there's a person, Guo-er. This Guo-er came to participate. In what? Chan Qi. What kind of Qi? He ran away after participating just for a few days.
跑了到外边就受不了了，又跑回来。
He ran away, went outside. He couldn't bear it, and ran back again.
跑回来现在我天天想打他一顿，把他打跑了，算了。
He ran back. Now, every single day, I think about giving him a beating. Beat him so he runs away for good.
但是这么久的时间，我还没有时间打他。
But after all this time, I have yet to find the time to beat him.
等什么时候我打他一顿，试试他还敢不敢在这个地方？最好就现在跑。
Just wait. At some point, I will give him a beating to test out if he still dares to stay in this place. It's best to just run away right now.
Okay, stop there. Okay. So it says, as an assembly, they hold each other's hands and march forward together like a line dance. Okay, it reminds me of maybe have some line dance, or when we recite GuanYin Bodhisattva's name, we hold hands. I don't know why he uses analogy. It's kind of weird, but who knows who was there at the time, okay? And so, but the concept here is that holding hands to me evokes the image of a certain level of comfort and the guidance that your neighbor, your Dharma friend provides you. Because what's interesting about this assembly is that you find people who are at different levels and they are helping each other. Okay? And I can't stress enough how impressed I am that the Qi here tonight is so much better than last night. You've been working hard all day, okay? And so keep it up, okay? And so there is coherence there. You practice together, recite it together, okay, and that it shows. I walk in and say, wow, it's a different tempo as compared to yesterday, okay? And so let's march forward together. You march forward towards the light. And he says, where are we going? Wherever you wish to go, okay? And it sounds casual, but that's exactly the spirit. You can go together, okay, with us, or you should feel free to stop and get off the train, okay, anytime, all right? And that's the spirit, okay? It sounds like that in English, but that's exactly the spirit in cultivation. We travel together, we cultivate together, but you feel free to stop or to get off the train, get off the boat anytime you feel like it. That's very Mahayana, okay? We're not that attached to you. Oh, you didn't want to hear that, okay? All right, and it's about must help each other because he says here that if you are cultivate by yourself, you will get lost, and that's a fact. Okay, you don't realize how difficult it is for you to cultivate by yourself. What does it tell you? It tells you that if, when you cultivate, and if all you believe in is yourself, it doesn't matter, you can be amongst 100 people, but you will get off the train, you get lost. That's what he's telling you. If you only take your own path, only believe in yourself, you will go wrong, guaranteed. When you cultivate vigorously, you don't want to be by yourself, I assure you. What are you doing at home? You are online, you cannot make it here, okay? What do? You tune in to these assemblies, or you make sure, this is very important, you make sure that when you cultivate by yourself, you listen to the Dharma, okay? Listen to Master Hsuan-Hua's lectures like this. You don't realize he's actually making adjustments for you, okay? It sounds casual, it sounds very, very superficial. Actually, he's stirring you back in the right tracks. Listen to his Dharma, listen to our lectures. This is very, very important. Every day. Okay? Otherwise, you take the wrong path. So once you run outside Go Mountain Monastery, it's very dangerous. I don't want to go to many details. Basically, is that you don't want to cultivate by yourself, period. Okay? Pay attention to this. Best proof is a person, Go-er. I don't know who this Go-er here, but I know of a monk that I encounter, monk disciple of his. And he says, he go here, he would run off a few days, and he runs away, and he comes back, okay? Because it sounds like this same guy, okay? He has such a disciple. He's a Caucasian, and he's married, so he's bipolar, very, very bipolar. His wife couldn't take it, so she didn't mind when he came to the temple to practice, okay? But then he came to the temple, his depression pull him away. So he went home. He looked at his wife. His wife, what are you doing here? I thought I was going to have the whole week by myself. Go away. So he said, okay, you don't want me here? I'm going back to the temple. So it's back and forth like that constantly for this guy. Okay. Eventually, he realized after coming to the temple, to Master Hsu's temple so often for so long and driving him around, he liked it. He says, this is the only time where I feel peaceful. And I come to your problem a little bit later. Remind me before we go to the next section. Okay? And so he finally shaved his head. Okay, after he shaved his head, I feel so much better around the temple. He shaved his head. And then after a few months, instead of a few days, after a few months, he missed his wife so much. He said, I miss my wife. So he came home. He ran away from the temple. So he did it like 5-6 times. And finally, the wife had enough. She brought him back to the temple. I say, Master, please take him. I don't want him. And I think she divorced him or something. Couldn't take it anymore. So he stayed as a monk for maybe 5-10 years. And then finally got his inheritance. Now he has money, he can take care of himself. Eternal life. So this bipolar thing here, if you ignore it, it's always there. He doesn't really cultivate, so his samadhi is very low. Okay, so and that's what happened to him. At our temple, when you're bipolar, I look at you and say, okay, I know you're bipolar, but the only reason for you, the only way for you to stay here is to improve. Because if you improve, your tendency, the chances for you to run away would be a lot less. This guy didn't improve at all. Okay? So that's why here you last a lot longer because you improve. It's you can resist the temptation to run away more and more and more and more. This guy is flat. Huge temper. Okay? So I'm proud to tell you that our assembly is quite different from his assemblies. Because for you to stick around, almost all of you have to improve. Those who don't improve anymore, we're just being compassionate. And we hope you run away. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. You have a question here from Daniel 7. Amitabha, Master, what do we do when we are around people who are judgmental and discriminatory? Is it our karma that we have to endure? Thank you.
Just have to bear it. That's the first thing you have to learn from cultivation, is bear what's difficult to bear. If you do that, you're cultivating. Okay? All right. The young lady there asked about her and her son. Which one is more important? It's a good thing. You're able to see that you need to take care of yourself. It has to come first. I agree with that. That's wisdom. If you don't take care of yourself, you always subjugate yourself to your sons and to others. When you get older, you regret it. Ask old people around you. Lots of them here tonight. I think they all agree with me. Yes or no? You have to take care of yourself. You are number one. Okay? That's part of your wisdom. Unless you take care of yourself, if you don't prioritize yourself, you have no chance of developing your wisdom. And if you're unhappy, everyone around you will be unhappy. Okay? I happen to not buy into the Asian value system where a woman is supposed to make sacrifices for her family. I think it's full of crap. It's nonsense. You must be responsible to yourself first. Yes, there are obligations, okay? But once you fulfill your obligations, it's still part of your taking care of yourself. It doesn't mean you subjugate yourself to others' needs. You take care of yourself by taking care of them. It's still in that spirit. Okay? So now it's between you and the sun. Okay? So how do you deal with this? This is America. This is no longer China. You don't tell your son what to do. They all feel entitled to your services. So that's why you negotiate. And this is where we Asians are poor. We don't know how to negotiate. You negotiate with him. Sit down, and you find out why he wants to, if he wants to go back home and what it would take for him to stay here, and bribe him. Okay? So you're teaching him about negotiation. You're teaching him about communicating what he wants. And negotiate. Okay? And give and take. And that, to me, that's a very important part of education that the parents fail to give to the children. Life is negotiations. Everywhere you go, you have to negotiate. Okay? And make it fun. It's not for you to antagonize each other. It's about finding common grounds and proceed and give and take and so forth. And if you do that, you have that kind of attitude, your son is very smart. He'll benefit greatly from it. Don't make it, one way where I tell you what to do. It's negotiations. Okay? Of course, there's always limits. If they're too stupid, they're going to hurt themselves. That's when you have to put your foot down and say, no, you can't do this. You keep doing this, I throw you out. Okay? But that's how these are opportunities for you to learn how to communicate with your children. Anyone else has any other suggestions? Negotiate, guys. Okay? Including the wife, Vietnamese men, they look at the wife, I tell you what to do, it's going to be my way. Okay, you hear? And the wife, okay, our culture is only one way. Baloney. They resent it. And when they get older, they hate you. Okay? Negotiate. Okay? Yes, too.
Thank you, Master. I don't know why I feel compelled to share this information, but it occurs to me that recently the Nintendo Switch 2 was released. And I do understand that's a thing that young boys like. It can achieve two things. One, with a headset, it can be very quiet. And then number two, it can keep the boy very still and like self-contained for hours. So I just thought I'd put that out there as something maybe to work backwards from at the negotiating table if it comes up. Okay, thank you.
Is that what your wife did for you?
Thank you, Master. It's a great opportunity to express my negotiation. But at the beginning, my husband did not like to come to temple. It's not your lecture, just that he's so exhausted from work. All he wanted to sit on the couch and just hang out, watch footballs and all the basketball, all the movies. So I began to bribe him with junk food because his weak point is pizza, hamburger, you go on and on. So at the beginning, I bribed him, hey, if you go to temple with me, let's go after eat pizza. His favorite was Domino Pizza. So we'd go to Domino Pizza. And go, hey, after this lecture, let's go to Carl's Jr. and Five Guys, whatnot. So we go together.
Things we do for love.
So after a couple of years, my husband outsmarted me. Now it doesn't work anymore, bribing now. So now at this point, we negotiated. So if you go to temple with me, we're going to do blah, blah, kind of together. So negotiating is very key to communication as
Absolutely.
well as any relationship. It's all about negotiation.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's all negotiations. Life is negotiations, folks. Wake up. Okay? Especially Asian culture is always men telling women what to do. Or now in Caucasians, it's women telling men what to do. Clear? See? Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. Tui has a comment here for you. Amitabha, Master, it might be helpful to figure out how to make the temple stay a more joyful experience for them.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Work at it. Master Z, go ahead. Okay, very good. It's a chance to me, negotiations are a chance to get to know the person better and express yourself. Okay? Express your needs. All right. And you'd be surprised on how much they appreciate that the boy appreciates it because now I understand mommy better, more than before. Yeah. All right, so next slide, it says every single day, I think giving him a beat him so that he runs away for good. But no time yet. So he felt that he needs to beat him for him to run away. But if this is that guy, you don't need to beat him. He will run away by himself. That's what happens to people who are depressed. They take themselves out of the picture. And for whatever the reason, we don't need to do anything. Yes, DTT.
질문하신 리나 교수님 맞나요? 당신이 샘플에 머무르고 싶은 기간만큼 아들 이름으로 약사위패를 달아주는 것을 제안드려 봅니다. 실제로 한국에서 이렇게 하신 분이 계셨고요. 효과가 있었어요. 네.
Nina Professor, I have a suggestion. So the duration that you want to stay at the temple, why don't you request a medicine master plaque for your son? Because actually this happened in Korea. For somebody did that and had a good result.
Yeah, money solves everything. Okay, Nintendo, Switch, or whatever, and money is win, so throw money at the problems. Okay, next section.
Uh, 按说谁走要把所有的钱都是这一个人给，但是如果你要偷着跑呢，那大家也没有办法。
First, let's talk about whoever leaves must pay. That person has to pay for all the money that was used. But if you sneakily run away, then neither I nor anyone else can do anything about it.
Okay, so one quick comment here. This is just my guess. As he was speaking Dharma, he caught someone thinking that, he can't make me pay. I'm going to sneak out. That's why he says this, because it doesn't make sense. There is a gap here somehow. But anyway, so that's my Shishin. It's always. This is why he's so scary. When you sit there and listen to Dharma and you have these thoughts, these errant thoughts, he knows. He will address you. Okay? All right. Next section.
Guanyin 菩萨是我们的兄弟。法界佛教总会创办人宣化上人开示于1976年美国金山圣寺。
They should choose someone with more samadhi than this. Oh God, this woman here is scattered.
天天呢念观世音菩萨，可是观世音菩萨是什么意思？
Every day, recite GuanYin Qi. But GuanYin Qi, what does it mean?
俺们不知道，尤其在西方人念中文。
I'm not sure if I should be offended by this, but okay. We don't know, especially when Westerners recite in Chinese.
要懂得中文的人会明白一点，不懂中文的就和这个念咒是一样的。
Those people who understand Chinese, it will be a little clearer. For those who do not understand Chinese, this is just the same as reciting mantras.
就和密宗念这个嗡嘛呢叭咪吽一样，因为不明白它意思。
It's just like in the secret school, reciting this Om Mani Padme Hum because the meaning is not clear.
可是这个观呢，就是观察，观察世间所有的音声。
But this Guan is just to contemplate all the sounds of the world.
这一位菩萨，他就是啊，没有事情做，要找一点事情来做。
This one bodhisattva, he just has nothing to do, so he must find a little something to do.
这个观也就是看在英文呢，它有意思可以说是 look， 就是 too much look。
This Guan also is just look. Kan in English roughly means you can say look. It's just too much look.
那么这个 look， 这个看，不是看外边，是看众生的心。
So this look, this kan, is not to look outside. It's to look at the minds of living beings.
看你哪一个心里没有妄想了，空了，就开悟了。
Looking to see which one of your minds is free of false thoughts, emptied, then enlightened.
Okay, that's too much for me. Okay, 120. He's explaining this GuanYin Qi Pusa, why we recite her name. What does it mean? He says, because I imagine that at the time he had a lot of Westerners who, there's a hippies time, the 60s, late 60s, early 70s, where I think early 70s, where there are a lot of hippies there who would come to the temple for free food, that kind of thing. And because the Chinese would not bother coming, there weren't that many Chinese like here. And so what does it mean, GuanYin? It says this is basically to address his Westerner people who were there. And yeah, I know that you don't understand this thing, so let me explain it for you. Okay? It's what it means in Chinese, because you don't understand in Chinese, therefore it's not that much different from reciting mantras, because mantras you don't need to understand either. Okay? So he's kind of casually explaining that the point here is that it's actually better that you don't understand the meaning. Okay? So when you recite, actually much better that you don't understand. Okay? Because why is that? Why is that it's better when you recite that you don't understand? You still hurting? Oh, you little girl. Yes. Were you crossing your legs when you sit in the car? Okay. Hang in there. She used to scream, Now she doesn't scream anymore. She just cries quietly. Oh, why am I doing this? Yes, is there two?
Thank you, Master. It's actually been a point, not terribly conflicting, but, not knowing Chinese when we recite the Great Compassion mantra, I have literally no idea what I'm saying. So I'm not thinking. It's just trying to shape the sounds with my mouth. That's it.
Yeah, because the recitation Dharma door doesn't require you to understand. That's the whole point. You just recite. What is recitation? Recitation is simply thinking of one sound, one character after another, after another, after another. There's no need to understand at all. It's better you don't understand, because when you understand, that understanding thought there is not helpful. It's best you don't need to understand anything. You simply follow one sound after another, one after another. That's all you do. That's the Dharma of recitation. You don't need to understand at all. Okay? And so that's what he's trying to explain here to those people. He says, this is like mantras, but he doesn't dissect it this way. He says, you recited mantras before. It's just the same as a mantra. It's no different, except it's called Wan-Shu-Yin Pusa. That's all. Okay? And like in a secret school, you recite Om Mani Padme Hum. You don't even know what it means. Okay? But let me explain to you. I will explain to you because I want you to understand it differently than understanding. Okay, I want to give you what he's talking about here. Understanding here, when you talk about understanding, it's like using a thinking mind to understand. When he's explaining here, he's planting the seeds for your true mind to be activated. There's a difference. When you go to school, what you teach your students, is basically to appeal to the understanding. However, when you learn the Dharma, we try to first get you to understand, but with the ulterior motive of activating your true mind. So your purpose is different. See, as soon as I commented that she didn't scream, she screams. Master Z, beat him up. Okay, not her, beat the ghost. Okay, so you see, so on the surface, it's like he's contradicting himself. You don't need to understand, but let me explain to you. Okay? So that's why. It's help you understand. This one here is to contemplate. Okay? Contemplate what? Contemplate the sounds of the world. Okay? So he's explaining the meaning of this name of this bodhisattva here. His name Wan-Shu-Yin. So contemplate the world sound, okay, basically. And he said it has nothing to do, so it must find something to do. So this is because of the Westerners present in the assembly back then. Because they perhaps someone will say, why would you want to contemplate the world sound? And so he says, he has to find something to do, okay? But this one here in Chinese, it means to look or kan, okay, in English. And then it says he adds too much look. I don't know why he adds too much look. because I think what he means is that he often contemplates, he often looks. Okay? That's why too much look is his Chinese, his Jinglish, Chinese English. Okay, I don't think you could explain it like he often looks. Quan is constantly looking, but he explained it as too much look. Okay? Again, if I'm wrong, please forgive me. I take a lot of liberties because he's dead already. I can say anything I want, and I have to deal with him later. Okay? And then next he says, this look here is not the look outside, but look at the minds of living beings. Again, it's nonsensical. He says, look here, the Kan or Guan or Kan. Okay, look is not look outside, but it's look at the minds of living beings. Aren't the minds of living beings outside of you? There's a contradiction here. It doesn't bother you, huh? It bothered me right away. Looking outside? Like you keep on looking at my mind, how I react to your talk. I have my false think, I want to leave, I don't want to pay, therefore I'm going to sneak out. Okay? And why do you have to keep on picking on me? Yeah. Okay? So look outside, not to look outside, but you look at the minds of living beings. The mind of living beings are outside of you. There's contradiction, clearly. Anyone has any problems? And why Westerners never objected to it? Yes, too.
Thank you, Master. I've actually been waiting like 14 years to share this, or so.
14 years? Okay.
12.
Yes, before you got married, okay.
Yeah, it turns out, and no one tells you this, you have to find out what I'm telling you. So, that when you walk into a Buddha hall for a Dharma talk, your inside mind is no longer your inside mind, because it turns out there's people who, like Great Master Shenhua, can pick out when you have errant thoughts. So I can only imagine for a bodhisattva, the minds of living beings are available to them to contemplate, just like the sounds of the world.
But is it inside or outside?
Well, I'm not a bodhisattva, so I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm imagining to a bodhisattva,
it's inside?
It's available to them.
So is it inside or outside to a bodhisattva according to you?
I've walked into it. To a bodhisattva, it would be outside, but to us, it would be inside, which is the conundrum, which is why my wisdom can't penetrate the description.
Okay, look at that. She screams, she cries, and then she shakes. Jesus Christ. So distracting. You are all so weird. What we have to do to put up with all this. Okay, I'm looking outside because I find it funny. Okay, not look outside. He says that, not look outside here refers to the process. The technique of contemplation is not look outside. It's looking inside. That's the first part here. This phrase here, to contemplate, to look, to kan here is to look inside, first of all. Okay? Okay. Next, when this bodhisattva looks inside, he sees the minds of living beings. Aren't you glad I'm here explaining this to you? If you were to listen by yourself, say, I don't know. This Master Shenoa, he is kind of confusing. Agree? You look like a statue. Now she's smiling. Is that clear? So it makes sense to him, but not to you. Okay? He's teaching you when you contemplate. Very important. When we tell you contemplate, okay? Meaning that look inside. Don't look outside. Okay? Number 2. For this bodhisattva, when he contemplates, he's actually looking at the minds of living beings inside of his mind. Okay, dokie? I can explain anything, don't worry. Are we there yet, or are we done with this this new section, or where are we? The last one? And so he says, we're looking at one of your minds free of false thoughts, emptied, and then become enlightened. I don't know what he's talking about. Okay? So he says, when I look at your mind, living being's mind, I see which one of you has no false thinking. Okay, when you're able to empty your mind, that's when you become enlightened. So that's his teaching to his students back then. He says, you're here, I'm teaching you, okay? It's not a casual thing for me. I'm teaching you about contemplation, because contemplation, I look at the bodhisattvas, and I look at your minds, and you realize why we look at your minds, because when you look at your minds, when your minds are emptied, are free of thoughts, that's what we know you are enlightened. Does it help? Okay, it's very subtle, but he sounds like nonsense. The first reaction I have, really? But then he's trying to teach them that in order to become enlightened, you need to be free of thinking. You have to stop your thinking mind, in other words. But he couldn't, I don't think they were taught Chan yet, so that's why when we teach you Chan, you say you have a thinking mind, then you're trying to put an end to that by, first of all, concentrating. Instead of you thinking so many thoughts, different thoughts, we want to give you a problem, okay? You only think one thing and you drop everything else. So that's part of the Chan training, by the way, okay? And what's the way to do that for beginners, first-timers, is that when you cross your legs, okay, the pain is so painful, the pain is overpowering, that's why your mind becomes single-minded. You can only think of the pain. That's the training. That is if you can go that far. Yes, 9. You can't? Get off. Tough luck.
Thank you, Master. Diego Alfonso has a question. Amitabha, Master, when the bodhisattvas contemplate the minds of living beings inside their own mind, is it because they have access to the Dharma body of the Buddha?
You're asking me about bodhisattvas. What do I know about bodhisattvas? So I don't know how to answer this question, okay? But based on the the common knowledge from the scriptures. Basically, it's not the way he explained it is too complicated. Yeah. And this is why I feel that those were the early days in his teaching career, so that I think he's still trying to figure out how to teach the Asians and the oddballs, the Westerners, and how to reconcile them in a way that would make sense to both. Okay? And at the same time terrorize them a little so that they pay more attention and not as disrespectful. Because the Westerners walk in and say, oh, he's short, he's ugly. Okay, and this is not a Buddha hall. That kind of thing. The Buddha statues are ugly. Anyway, to Western standards, we used to Greek statues. Yeah? And the Buddha statue, like, the eyes closed or open? We cannot tell, can we? And then we cannot tell the difference between GuanYin Bodhisattva is, we call it she, but the face like a man. And so many issues, okay? It bothered me. I went to my master's temple, city of 10,000 Buddhas. They have this big GuanYin Bodhisattvas, okay? Carved out from Master Shinhua. They gilded it, okay? It has 10,000 hands and eyes, and 42 hands and eyes right there. And it bothered the heck out of me, because every time I look at him, every single day, I ask myself, is it a man or a woman? It looked like a man to me. All the statues in that style, they look more like men to me than women. There's one right there, one somewhere here. I saw another one too. It's that style. The face is square, okay? Which denotes tremendous level blessings when your face is rectangular. The Chinese, the Asian call it square. Actually, it's rectangular. You got that? So that's why the statues there of that GuanYin Bodhisattva statue, that style, is rectangular. But rectangular face is for us Westerners, is for men, not women. Women are supposed to be like this. No? Anyway. How do I get there? Anyway. Yeah. So what was the question? Yeah, two.
Thank you, Master. So if I say back to you what I heard, the minds of sentient beings are outside, but the contemplation of those minds happens inside the mind of the Bodhisattva.
What it means is that I don't think he looks at all the minds. This Bodhisattva, he doesn't look at all the minds at all. Okay? What he does is he contemplates. Okay? And the beings out there in the Dharma realm, let's say in the Saha world, where we are right now, the beings there who are suffering. Okay? And so the suffering, but the suffering are unbearable to them. And that's why they said, and they've been taught to call the GuanYin Bodhisattva for help. When you're in trouble, when you're suffering, you should call GuanYin Bodhisattva because she has compassion. She will come and rescue you. So what she does is that she sits there and she meditates. And that's what Guan is about. Guan is to meditate. It's not Guan, okay? Guan in terms of Kan and so forth. Guan is to meditate, Okay? When she meditates here, she decided during her meditation, I explain it differently than the Chinese, okay? Because I'm not Chinese. So she meditates, okay? But when she meditates, she says, when I meditate, my objective when I meditate is to make myself receptive to the requests for help from all over there, from people out there who are suffering, who says, this is too much for me, I can't take it anymore, GuanYin Bodhisattva, please help me. So that's what she does. She says, I meditate, that's a Guan, okay? But when I meditate, I'm receptive to, meaning I'm still here. Okay, I'm not looking outside. I'm still here. But I allow myself to receive the sounds of those people coming to me. I'm not going out there. I'm sitting here. You have to send your sound to me. Okay? That's what it means. The Chinese explain it to me, it's too confusing. The Guan is I'm here by myself, here inside of me. When I'm here in this state, when you are suffering, I can hear your suffering when you call my name. That's all it means. I don't go to you. I sit here. But when you're suffering, you recite my name, I can receive it. Okay? That's what happens. And when I receive it, okay, even though I'm here, I know exactly what you are, who you are, your name, you man or woman. Okay? You're a woman, even though your face is rectangular. Okay? I will come to you and give you relief. You should do that next time instead of screaming. It's too much. You say, GuanYin Bodhisattva, it's too much for me. And if you're at that state where you scream instead of screaming, I'm teaching you now, okay? Because I'm tired of having beat your ghost. The ghost is totally, I can't even brag about it. It's so sad. Okay? Next time you feel like screaming, okay? You call GuanYin, you say, GuanYin, it's too much for me. Please help. It will die down just like this. Pssh, like a balloon. Interested? I tried. It worked. But you have to wait until it's unbearable. Do not, like my dad, who is as soon as, GuanYin, help. Don't do that. You only call GuanYin when you cannot take it anymore. Boys and girls, remember that. Do not bother GuanYin Bodhisattva. Don't get me in trouble. Got that? Okay? You see, it's amazing because it worked for me. It died just like that. I couldn't take it anymore. What you're experiencing today, or when you cross your leg, is nothing what I experience. It just, I won't even describe it to you because then the rest of the world will know and imitate my description and steal my description. I tell you, it's much worse than you. It's like, 10,000 times worse. And I call her, say, GuanYin, I can't take it anymore. GuanYin, please help. And if it's at this level, it dies just like this. Psh, immediately. It's amazing, let me tell you. And that's what happens to GuanYin Bodhisattva. She sits there, she contemplates, meaning she meditates. And then, in this state of meditation, she's receptive to people who call out to her name. GuanYin Bodhisattva. And it's only when they're in extreme suffering that's able to get to her. If the people who assume, she will ignore it, trust me. Okay. You cannot abuse her compassion. She will ignore you. Okay, time is up. Thank you, everyone.